Hey writing class, fantastic work during Monday and Tuesday's online lessons. Once again, I'm very proud of all the work you guys have put in these past few days. You did an excellent job yesterday when writing your paragraphs. You all remembered to indent when you start a new paragraph. You made sure to start all of your sentences with a capital letter and to end it with punctuation. And you also remembered to put quotation marks around exact words that somebody said. You guys also put a lot of great detail into your paragraphs, so super job and keep it up. For today's lesson, we're going to be looking at lesson 25. Right in front of me, I have the manual, so I'm going to be reading through this. In the email of which this link is attached, I have also posted lesson 25, the worksheet from your workbook. Please, for today's lesson, we're only going to do parts A to D. So please don't do part E, we'll leave that for tomorrow. So that'll be once again writing our 2 paragraphs. But let's get into it. So we're gonna look at part A. So I'll read what it says in the book. So each sentence in part A begins with the exact words somebody said. I'll read sentence number 1. The sun is shining, Lee shouted. So it starts with quotation marks around the words that the person said. There's a comma before the last quotation marks. And there's also a period at the end of the sentence. So that's our first example. And then we have 2, 3, and 4. So let's look at sentence number 2. Sentence 2 says, the plane will land in 10 minutes, the pilot said. Right, so the exact words that the pilot said are, the plane will land in 10 minutes. That means we need to have our quotation marks around those words. So we're going to put our quotation mark right at the beginning of the word the, and then we'll have our second set of quotation marks right after the word minutes. We also need to add our comma, and then we need our period. Our comma will come right before the second set of quotation marks. So right before or right after the word minutes, we'll have our comma. Then we will have our quotation marks. And then at the end, we will have a period after the word said. So I will write this out just so that we can see this. So for number 2, once again, we're working on lesson 28. At the beginning, we're going to have our quotation marks. Then we have the plane will land in 10 minutes. Right? So those are the exact words the pilot said. And then I need my comma, then my second set of quotation marks. And then I just have the pilot said. And then at the end of the word said, I need my period. So this is what it will look like. Hopefully the glare is not great. So we have our quotation marks. The plane will land in 10 minutes. Then I have my comma. Then I have my second set of quotation marks, the pilot said, and then I need my period. So I want you guys to try doing number 3 and 4 on your own. Number 3 says, I bought a new t-shirt at the store, he said. And number 4 says, this story is very funny, the boy thought. So please add in your quotation marks, your comma, and your period. So you guys can pause this video now, and then I will meet you guys in part B. Alrighty guys, welcome to part B. So I'm gonna read what it says in the book. For part B, it tells us that the writer forgot the rule about putting commas in sentences that begin with a part that tells when. Sometimes the writer put a period instead of a comma. Sometimes the writer just left out the comma. So your job is to fix up the passage. There are 6 sentences that begin with a part that tells when. So I can go through the first little bit with you guys. So the first sentence says, Mr. Jones was driving home from the lake with his daughter Nancy and her pet dog. Right, so that sentence is perfectly fine. So we're not going to change anything. The next sentence then says, as they were about to cross a bridge, and a period. Right, so that sentence is actually just the part that tells when. So we're going to change the period after the word bridge into a comma. So the new sentence should say, as they were about to cross a bridge, comma, Mr. Jones noticed that the bridge had a big hole in it. So I want you guys to then continue with the rest of the paragraph, and anytime there's a part that tells when that has a period, or if a comma is missing, you're gonna need to add in the comma. So you guys can pause the video now and continue to work on that, and then I will see you guys in part C. So welcome back, guys, to part C. So I will read what it says in the book. So for part C, it tells us that you learned that you have to be very careful when you use the words he or she. You also have to be careful when you use the words him or her. Listen to these sentences. Marcus and Mike got home late. Their mom asked him what happened. Right? We don't know if the word him refers to Marcus or to Mike. So it's very confusing. So here are the rules once again for using the words him or her. The rules for using him or her are the same as those for he and she. If there are two men in the first sentence, you cannot use him in the next sentence. If there are two women in the first sentence, you cannot use her in the next sentence. So I'll read the first sentence in item 1. Marcus went to the park with Mike. So how many men are named in that first sentence? Get ready. Right, there's 2. So can we use the word him in the next sentence? Get ready. Right? No, we can't. So what we're going to have to do is cross out the word him and circle the word Marcus. So for number 1 in part C, it should say, Marcus went to the park with Mike. A car splashed water on Marcus. Right, so we're going to circle Marcus. Once again, it can't be him because the previous sentence names Marcus and Mike, which are 2 men. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 says Anna and Susan ran down the street. So in this sentence, we have Anna and Susan. So 2 girls or 2 women. So the next sentence, if we're following the rules, cannot begin with her or she because we don't know which woman we're talking about. So for part 2, we're going to cross out her and circle Susan. So it should say Anna and Susan ran down the street. A cat ran in front of Susan. So I want you guys to now work on number 3, 4, and 5. It's going to follow the exact same format. So if you would like, please pause this video. And then when you're done, I will meet you guys in part D. So welcome back, guys, to part D. So I will read what it says in the book. So remember the rule about the word and. If you remove the word and, you must replace it with a comma. The comma shows the thing that is missing. So your job, once again, this is similar to what you guys did yesterday, or on Monday, sorry, is you're going to fix up the sentences and only leave the last and in each sentence. All of the other ands, you're going to cross them out and replace them with commas. So let's look at the first sentence. The first sentence says, Kim got into the car and turned on the engine and drove home. Right, so we have the word and twice in that sentence. So we only want to have one and in the sentence. So we're going to underline both of them. And then we're going to cross out the first one. So now we have both of the ands underlined and the first and is crossed out. We're going to replace that and with a comma. So now when we rewrite the sentence, our new sentence should say, Kim got into the car, comma, turned on the engine and drove home. Right? So we only want to have one and in the sentence. All of the other ands, please underline them, cross them out, and replace them with a comma. So guys, this is going to be your work for today's class. Please don't work on part E. We will look at that in more detail tomorrow. So if you have any questions or concerns, please let me know and keep up the great work. See you guys tomorrow.